The floorboards in the hallway were my enemy. I knew every one of them that creaked, every spot where the old wood would groan under the slightest pressure. My world had shrunk to this, a silent, tiptoeing existence in my own home. A prisoner to the secret I carried. It was a secret that felt like a physical weight, a cold stone lodged deep in my chest. It started 6 months ago with a scent of faint, unfamiliar cologne on Mark's collar that didn't belong to him or to us. Then it was the phone, always face down, the passwords that had suddenly changed from our anniversary to something I couldn't guess. He'd say he was working late, but the static in his voice, the hollow echo of a lie, was a language I'd become fluent in. The confirmation came on a Tuesday. He'd left his iPad synced to his messages. There she was, Chloe. Her name blinked up at me from the screen, followed by words meant for his eyes only. Words that detailed a lunchtime rendezvous, a hotel room, a passion so stark and vivid it felt like a physical blow. The worst part wasn't the I love yous he sent her, it was the things he said about me. She's so fragile since her mom passed. It's like living with a ghost. You're so alive. He'd used my grief, the deepest wound of my life, as a selling point to his mistress. I didn't confront him. The initial, seismic shock of betrayal gave way to a chilling, glacial calm. The tears dried up, replaced by a resolve so sharp it could cut diamond. He thought I was broken. And I was. But broken things have sharp edges. My revenge wasn't going to be a screaming match or a slashed tire. It needed to be a slow, meticulous unraveling of the perfect life he thought he was building. I became a ghost in my own house, watching, listening, collecting. I found the receipts for the jewelry I never received, the hotel bookings made from his business trips, the secret bank account he'd started siphoning our joint savings into. I learned about Chloe, too, not just the 26-year-old marketing associate from his office, but her aspirations. Her Instagram was a curated gallery of designer handbags, luxury vacations, and #gold digger captions. She wasn't in love with Mark. She was in love with the life he promised, a life funded by our money, built in the house I decorated, with the future we had planned. The plan formed in the cold, quiet hours of the night. He wanted a new life. I'd give him one. I'd hand it to him gift-trapped in his own lies. I started by playing the part he'd written for me, the fragile, grieving wife. I'd sigh about money worries, subtly reinforcing the idea that we were barely scraping by. I'd let him comfort me, all the while secretly transferring the last of our remaining joint funds into an account only I could access. I downloaded every incriminating text, every email, every financial record onto a small, innocuous-looking USB drive. This was my insurance, my little box of dynamite. The final piece came when I discovered his real golden ticket. Through a forgotten email left open on our shared computer, I found he was in the final stages of securing a massive, career-making promotion vice president of sales. The final interview was a formality, his boss had told him. It was his. The bonus alone was 6 figures. The day of his final interview, he preened in the mirror, a picture of arrogant confidence. "Wish me luck, babe," he said, barely glancing at me. "All the luck in the world," I whispered, my voice sweet and hollow. The moment his car pulled out of the driveway, I moved. My heart wasn't hammering with panic. It was beating a steady, determined rhythm. I sat at my laptop, the little USB drive plugged in. I composed 2 emails. The first was to the head of HR and the CEO of Mark's company. The subject line was, "A matter of corporate integrity and misuse of company funds." The body was concise, professional, and devastating. I attached screenshots of emails where Mark had bragged to Chloe about expensing their client dinners, which were romantic trysts and luxury hotel stays to the company. I highlighted the transfers from our joint account, suggesting he was possibly embezzling to fund his affair. I didn't sound like a scorned wife. I sounded like a concerned citizen reporting a crime. The second email was to Chloe. This one was different. "Chloe," I wrote, "I imagine you're as in love as Mark says you are. He talks about you all the time. He's so excited to start your new life together. Before, Eidos, I thought you should see the man you're really involved with. The attached files showed the secret account he has been building, the one he told you was for your future. Notice the steady withdrawals for the past 3 months. That's for his other girlfriend, Sarah, in the accounting department. The one he's been seeing longer than you. He's also about to be fired for embezzlement, so the fancy life he's been selling you is about to vanish. Congratulations on your soulmate. I attached a carefully curated selection of documents, the bank statements, showing his spending on her alongside the more recent identical. Spending on another woman, a lucky find from a second hidden dating profile and a preview of the embezzlement evidence. Then, I took a deep breath and clicked send on both. The silence in the house was absolute. 3 hours later, I heard his car screech to a halt. The front door slammed open with such force it shook the pictures on the wall. Mark stood there, his face a grotesque mask of fury and panic. His tie was loose, his hair disheveled. "You," he spat, his voice trembling. "What did you do?" I was sitting calmly on the sofa, sipping a cup of tea. I just told the truth. "Mark, it's funny, isn't it? You spend so long building a house of cards, and it only takes one little breath to bring it all down." His phone started to ring, then mine. He looked at his screen. It was Chloe. He ignored it, his eyes locked on me, wide with a dawning, horrific understanding. They escorted me out of the building. They're launching a full audit. My promotion, it's gone. Everything is gone. "And Chloe?" I asked, my voice dangerously soft. "Did she like her welcome gift?" As if on cue, his phone buzzed again, this time with a string of text previews that lit up his screen. I could see the all caps rage from where I was sitting. He looked from his phone to me, and for the first time, I saw not anger, but sheer, undiluted terror. He was looking at the woman he thought he had broken, and he finally saw the architect of his ruin. I had not just set his life on fire. I had sold tickets to the show and made sure everyone he cared about was in the front row. I took a final sip of my tea, placed the cup gently on the saucer, and stood up. I walked past him, my shoulders straight, not giving him a second glance. I had already mourned the death of my marriage. Today, I was just attending the funeral. I paused at the door, turning back to look at the shattered man standing in the ruins of his own making. "The problem with breaking someone," I said, my voice clear and steady in the silent house, "is that you never know what sharp pieces they'll leave behind for you to walk on.